Marc Jackson, NBC Sports Philadelphia, pre- and post-game as the Sixers make a huge move, Mark. They're going all in. They get Jimmy Butler, and they give up Dario Saric, your guy, Super Dario, and Rocco. They're on the way out. Butler is in. When it happened Saturday, what was your initial reaction, man?
My initial reaction was, yes, great trade. Oh, this is going to put us over the top. And then I said, wait, who do we give up? And then I heard it was my man, the Croatian sensation, the homie, Super Dario. I got to tell you, I had mixed emotions on it. I really did. I'm just keeping it honest with you.
I think a lot of people feel the same way about Dario. I think Rocco underappreciated. People just for some reason, didn't like him. You give up two starting players to get a guy like Butler. What do you think Butler will bring to this team that they were lacking?
Butler give him not just a defensive presence, but he'll also give him a player who can put the ball on the floor and score buckets. Don't need a fancy play going call for him. Don't need no coming off 2 or 3 screens. No, just get the ball out the way. That's Jimmy Butler gives him compared to what our guy Rocco gave us. He's a bona fide scorer in this league. He's a bona fide defender, and he has some grit to him. He has some toughness to him. So he can give us a lot of those things.
Mark, how much of what you know about Jimmy Butler is consistent with what we hear nationally about him, and how much do you think is a little bit overblown, if any?
Well, the interesting part about that is in locker rooms, winning dictates the culture. You can have a coach all you want, but if you're going through a rough time, sometimes the locker room could go a little flux. With that being said, Jimmy Butler was part of 2 losing situations in Chicago and Minnesota, and it kind of made him get out of pocket a little bit and say some things that was detrimental to the team and detrimental to the young guys on those teams. So I really believe that dictates. You could say, oh, that wouldn't happen in Greg Popovich's system or Boston's system. When teams are losing, most of the time, a lot of times, bad karma, bad things come out of the locker room. So that's where it actually, lines up. But Jimmy wants to win. Ben wants to win. Joel wants to win. So I don't see none of that happening here. And this culture is really firm and tight the last couple of years.
Yeah, Mark, one thing about Butler, okay, everybody says, oh, you're bringing this guy in. Was he a bad guy? I don't remember a lot of horrible I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Did he have issues when he was in Chicago? I mean, him and Wade, there was something there, right, where they kind of split the locker room a little bit. But I don't remember hearing like this guy was such a bad guy.
No. So the way it worked, what I'm getting out of it was during a rough patch in Chicago when they had a bunch of young guys trying to mix in with himself and Dwayne Wade and Rondo. Remember Rondo?
Right, Rondo was there.
And it was a situation. Reporter asked him a question in a locker room, and him and Dwayne Wade kind of was like, I don't know, was it him or was it Dwayne Wade? But one of them said, these young guys, they got to pick up the slack. These young guys kind of make an excuse to point at the young guys. And Rondo kind of took it and took to the atmosphere like, look, you don't point the fingers at young guys. Your job is there to mentor those guys. So like I said, I don't know if it was Jimmy Butler or if it was Dwayne Wade. But I know Dwayne Wade, after that, got bought out and he left. So maybe it could have been Dwayne Wade.
Mark, do you think the offense can change a little bit with Jimmy Butler? Not just from having his athleticism and putting the ball on the floor, but Brett obviously hasn't been a big screen and roll coach so far. Do you think the addition of a guy like Jimmy can add that to this offense?
Yes, I think he will look do a little bit more pick and roll from that. But also, in the same Florida offense, I really believe that first and foremost, the amount of three-point attempts will drop drastically because of some of the shots that Rocco was encouraged to shoot. Mm-hmm. That's not Jimmy Butler's game, catching and jacking up contested threes. He doesn't do that. I do see Jimmy creating more off the bounce. So some of those looks, Rocco will shoot the three. Look for Jimmy to maybe put his shoulder down and get to the basket and draw some fouls.
What's this do for Fultz?
What they do for folks is, and that's the question. That's the question. Does folks stick around?
Well, I'll explain what I would see right off the bat. Okay, Mark, is it almost, to me anyway, I think they just looked at him and said, look, he is what he is. He could play some defense. We're okay with that. But they keep taking him off the floor because they had no other offense. With Butler, at least they have another offensive guy, so they can leave Fultz on the floor to play defense more, maybe.
Yes, that's true. But I think if that's what you're looking to get out the number one pick, I think they would truly look to move him. Because I think you can get that. You can get that somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying they're happy by that. I think this move was predicated on that Fultz has been such a disappointment on the offensive end of the floor that they couldn't wait any longer to figure. I mean, they saw enough, right?
Here's my question: has he been disappointing offensively, or just has he been disappointing shooting? I think those are two different things. Nowadays, the eye candy is the long three. But I think folks has displayed he can get to the rack. He can create on his own. Mm-hmm. I think he can. I don't think he's been disappointing offensively. I think he's been disappointing with the ability to shoot the ball. I think those are something we got to keep a real close eye on, and it is a huge difference. But, yes, he is somebody who can play defense. What surprised me, though, is when they had 9 players and Landry Shamet played 40-something minutes. TJ played all his minutes, but they still maintained folks at 24 minutes. Yeah. That surprised me massively.
I think one thing that surprised me also, and why I am more excited about the trade, is the fact that they were able to get him. Yes, they gave up Dario. Yes, they gave up Rocco. But they didn't have to give up that Miami Heat pick, which almost seems more valuable by the day as the Heat are under 500. It still lets them add to this team down the road, if not even sometime this year. Yeah,
I was surprised. When I first heard, okay, the trade went down, I said, oh, did they give up the Miami pick and their pick, or they just give up the Miami pick? Then when I finally got to the computer and seen it was no first-round picks, I was like, oh, give Elton Brand Executive of the Year right now. Mm-hmm. They give him, he got the awards. No, don't even have him nominated. All right, hey, Elton, have a nice day. It's over. That was remarkable. But I do think they see value on what Rocco and Cover can give them. They got 2 very good bona fide starters. And, people talk about what this deal done with Sixers. I actually think it was actually a little better for Minnesota. Why? So they go into the season, they got on the rest of the season with Teague, Wiggins, Rocco, Dario, and Big Cat. I think that's a pretty good lineup for them with some young pieces. And now we bring in Jimmy Butler, who's a bona fide all-star, but then we still got to see what happens when he gets to the locker room. How does that gel? So, I think we need to keep that in mind also.
Hey, Mark, how do you see the starting lineup now with Butler? Because it seems that Dario spot is going to be the one that's up in the air right now.
Yes, well, they can go small. It's interesting. We've been I'm writing down starting lineups, different starting lineups. We see they will start Joel, they will start Ben, and here's the 2 different lineups we can see. We can see Joel, Ben, Wilson Chandler, JJ, and Jimmy Butler. Or we can see Joel, Ben, Jimmy, JJ, and Folks. So I think do they start Wilson Chandler or do they start Markel Folks? Those are the 2 lineups, the 2 options for the lineups that I see personally.
I feel like when you look at how they lost to Boston last year, Mark, that you would automatically think that the Butler-Chandler lineup gives them that what they were really missing, that wing and perimeter defense, and not only that, on offense, the guys who can put the ball on the floor and score, and it makes them a little bit more well-rounded.
I agree with you 100%. What did Boston expose? That last year we have some incredible shooters, but if you have athletic wings, you can chase them off those screens and chase them off that three-point line and then make their threes end up being long 2s or layups, which Ilyasova, Bellinelli, and JJ are not the best at finishing around the rim. So that's a Boston exposed from the 76ers point of view. So what happens on the defensive end? They went at JJ, Bellinelli, and Ilyasova and made them liabilities on the defensive end. So now what the Sixers have done with Jimmy Butler and Wilson Chandler, they added 2 guys who you're not chasing off the three-point line. You're making them you're truly making them you got to make them guard solidified scorers. You're making them guard guys that can put the ball on the floor and score, but then also they also can defend. So that's what they have did for the staff. That's what these lineups have helped.
Yeah, and it seemed like that was in the offseason when they didn't get, a high-profile player. They decided plan B was we need to get more athletic on the perimeter. Zaire Smith, a guy that they think can defend out there. Wilson Chandler. They had Rocco. They were adding Fultz. So it seemed like that was their plan. And now getting Jimmy Butler, I mean, he's a second-team all-defensive player, so they get another wing defender. But this one who can score in a variety of ways.
Exactly. I like this lineup. What are we going to miss? We're going to miss the shooting. We're going to miss the shooting. We're going to miss the eye-popping candy. We're going to miss those things. But we get players that can play. We get addition. Wilson Chandler is so underrated. He's such a value commodity. Jimmy Butler, we know what Jimmy Butler is. Just say Jimmy Butler, there you go. You know what he is. Marco Fultz, though, for me, I'm sorry I'm going back to this. I'll go back to this, but I'm just so excited to see what we do with these lineups. I'm sorry if I didn't answer your question, but when you just mention these names, it just brings me back. Like, this is a different team from last year. This is a more longer team, a better defensive team, and a better scoring team. Not shooting, but scoring.
Well, and for 82 games during the regular season when you don't have the Bellinelli, Ersan shooting the threes, from a night-to-night basis, you're saying we don't have that three-point shooting. But come playoff time, they were more of a hindrance than a help. Their three-point shooting was negated because they couldn't defend.
They couldn't defend, and Boston went at them.
Right at them.
Boston went at them, and then what Boston did is they ran them off the three-point line.
Exactly.
So then you take away the three-point shooting, and then you get hammered on the other end because Boston was going at them. I agree with you 100%. It's an interesting season.
Mark, some interesting names are coming through. It sounds like the Sixers aren't done. Kyle Korver's name's been brought up. Markieff Morris, Kelly Oubre, Jeff Green. Apparently the Wizards are looking to unload some of their guys. Another name has been brought up is Carmelo Anthony, if he ends up splitting with Houston, which seems like it's possible. Any of these guys interest you?
Hey, a lot of them interesting. Kyle Korver, though. I remember Kyle Korver's name coming up in the summer. I love Kyle. He was a teammate of mine. But does he give us the same thing that Bellinelli and Ilyasova gave us, shooting, but how does he affect us on the defensive end? So, yes, we can add a shooter, but if we can add Kelly Oubre, oh, my God. If we can add Carmelo Anthony, oh, my gosh. You had another scorer. My only thing is you bring in Jimmy Butler and Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, playing with fire.
I know Brett Brown's a psychologist, but respectfully, that may be a little too much. That might put great. I know we've all personally witnessed what's happened to Brett Brown's here. So if you imagine you bring Jimmy Butler in and you bring Carmelo Anthony in, I think that's asked for too much. Marquise Morrison, that's to be a great addition too. I mean, those are any one of those. Okay, if you bring Marquise Morrison, Kelly Olynyk, who else?
Jeff Green was the other guy.
Jeff Green, you bring an athlete in who can ski some buckets here and there, but I think you get the similar thing from Wilson Chandler. For me, I think you bring Kelly in, or you bring Kelly in, you bring Marquise Morrison. I believe that you bring solidified defense, you bring solidified scoring, and I think that puts you over the top over Boston.
So right now with Butler, Ben, Joel, and the group they have, where do you rank this roster in the East?
Right now, without any more additions, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, right now as we play. Well, they won't have Butler. They won't play. Butler won't play till Wednesday night. So starting Wednesday night because Muscala's back tonight. Chandler's going to start tonight. Muscala is back, so they're pretty much going to have a full complement on Wednesday night. Where do you rank them?
I still rank them third.
Yeah?
I still rank them third because they did give up 64 combined minutes from players. They go 64 combined minutes. So Jimmy Butler can only play 48 if we want to burn him out.
Yeah.
He can't play 6'3". So, and we giving up a lot. Dario and Jimmy can give him a combined combination of what both Robert Covington and Dario Saric can give the Sixers. But he can't play that many minutes. So with that being said, they need to solidify their bench. They need to, really come out and solidify their bench and get more guys that can help this team. Or where they say, you know what? All we need is Wilson Chandler, Landry Shamet, TJ, Markelle Fultz, and Muscala. Can they be saying that? I don't know. But if that's the route they go, I still leave him in third place.
Marc Jackson with us. Yeah, Fultz was 7 of 9 the other night, 14 points, 25 minutes. Korkmaz's got 12 points in 23 minutes, shot the ball all right. Shamet kind of struggled. Anybody that played Saturday night, did they stand out enough to say they deserve more minutes once, because you're saying they got some minutes to fill now. So is there anybody on the roster that you would like to see get those minutes?
Okay, so let's talk about this. I don't know if you rewind back to when we talked this summer, and I told you I really believe Furkan could get some of them Bellinelli-type minutes. I said that then, and I was really surprised he was the odd man out. So now let's say this. Yes, we want to get Kyle Korver. I'm hearing his name mentioned. He's a former Sixer, a bona fide veteran. But here's my thing. He's also up in age now. I love Kyle. He's my guy. He's my guy. He knows he's my guy. But you drafted Furkan. He's a young version of Kyle Korver. Why not play him?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they need to go out and get another guy. I think Furkan is somebody who deserves some minutes. Landry Shamet deserves some minutes. He's proven that he can play. Here's the catch, though. You read off Markelle Fultz' box score. He had a very good game. Defensively, he made some things happen. And he still played Landry Shamet, who was struggling, 40-something minutes. So what is that telling you about how they really feel as of now about Markelle Fultz? They're not too high on him.
Right, and coaching is trust, right? If you don't trust a guy, you're not playing him. And I think it speaks volumes that Brett just does not trust this kid.
Exactly, especially on a game that what you got to lose. You only got 9 guys. Let me get this young guy a bunch of minutes before Jimmy get here and take them all. And he still didn't do it. That surprised me.
When you see, do you trust him? Like when you watch him, do you say, I trust this guy, why doesn't he get more minutes? Or do you understand why he's not earning the trust? Because I get people to argue with me all the time, why isn't he playing more? And I'm saying, I feel like he's got zero confidence in certain parts of his offense. Now there's other times, Mark, he pulls up from the elbow smooth as silk, and you're thinking, where the hell's this all the time? And then he just gets away from it. I mean, when he was at Washington, they ran a lot of high post. He pulled up from 3. You're not seeing that at all from him now. So it seems that his confidence is in such spurts that they don't know when it's coming.
Yes, but I'm going to tell you this, and this is being a former player. You only get that confidence back with you being on the floor. That's just a fact. People say what I see from folks now, I see a young 19-year-old kid. That's what I see. How do you get more out of this kid? How do you get more out of him so he can give you more? You put him on the floor. I think, this is me, in my opinion, I really believe he deserves more than what he's getting.
Yeah.
I really do. Because, okay, his shooting is still coming and going. He's still not 100%, but he's a lot better shooting the ball than Ben Simmons. Period. We can sugarcoat all we want. He is. So with that being said, the kid deserves to be on the floor.
Yeah.
He deserves to be on the floor. You need to get rid of him.
I mean, I was just about to say, Mark, maybe he needs to change the scenery. Maybe he just needs to be traded.
Yes, because obviously, and listen, that game was telling to me. That loss to Memphis Grizzlies was so telling to me. Markelle Fultz have put together his best half of basketball for the year, and he only played 24 minutes. We only got 9 guys. He played his best half of basketball for the entire season.
Yeah.
And you play him 20-something minutes.
Yeah, 7 of 9 from
Landry Shamet, 40-something.
7 of 9 from the field.
Yep.
Let me real quick on Simmons, because people argue all the time. He's got to shoot. He's got to be able to shoot. I've seen him shoot. I mean, it's not like he can't, right? I mean, you'll see him in the warm-ups. He shoots from all over the place. And is there something that Is there a reason why he refuses to kind of look? Pulled up from the elbow, pulled up from the foul line. Is there a blockage there? How is it you get to this level? I mean, all these guys, all they want to do their whole life is shoot, 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 shoot. You get to the highest level and you don't want to shoot at all. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Listen, I agree with you. I'm full chaos with you. It doesn't make sense. But right there, what that's telling me is I'm not going to force the issue because he's not a shooter. And I don't think he's ever going to become a person that's a pull-up jump shooter. I don't think he ever is, because I think you watch him. He shoots in warm-up. He shoots a bunch of jump shots. But with that being said, with those jump shots, they're jump shots and no one in your face. They're not moving jump shots. He doesn't shoot many push, pull up and shoot. If you notice in the games, he shoots all – if he does shoot outside 5 feet, he's fading or he's twisting or he's not square. He's showing me that I don't think he's ever going to become a shooter. And I think the more we wait as fans, the more disappointed we become. I really feel that way. I think that ship is sailed. Right. I don't think he's going to be a shooter.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. If you had to keep one, Fultz or Simmons, who's more valuable?
I think you go with the product who showed you who can do the most as of now. I think you go with Simmons because he showed you he can be dominant without shooting a jump shot. He showed you that. Markelle Fultz is still trying to find his way. So if it's somebody who wants Fultz now and going to give me something valuable, I'm trading him.
Marc Jackson, everybody. Sixers tonight, 7:30, Miami Heat. Wednesday night, we'll have both games for you. Friday night, they're back home against Utah. Marc Jackson, NBC Sports, Philadelphia, right here on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline. Mark, you the man. Take care, pal.
Appreciate y'all, guys. Have a good one.